It was a moment years in the making. Donald Trump, twice impeached, once acquitted, stood in a Manhattan courtroom. He was not on trial for insurrection or financial crimes this time. This time, it was about silence. The case centered around a hush money agreement made during the 2016 election. The question was whether Trump directed illegal campaign contributions to suppress damaging information. The stakes could not have been higher. A guilty verdict could mean jail time for Trump. It would be a stunning fall from grace for a man who once held the highest office. His supporters saw it as a politically motivated witch hunt. His detractors saw it as a long overdue reckoning. The nation watched, captivated, as the trial unfolded. The courtroom was packed. Reporters crammed into the press section, lawyers huddled, strategizing. The air crackled with anticipation. Trump, dressed in his signature dark suit and red tie, sat at the defense table. He looked serious, determined. His lawyers whispered in his ear, offering last-minute advice. The judge entered, and the room fell silent. The trial of the century was about to begin. The tension was palpable as Trump took the witness stand. He swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. His voice, usually booming and confident, was subdued. He answered questions carefully, weighing each word. His testimony was a mix of defiance and denial. He insisted he had done nothing wrong. He claimed the hush money payment was a private matter, unrelated to the campaign. The prosecution grilled him on his knowledge of the payment. They presented emails and other evidence suggesting Trump was aware of the arrangement. Trump countered, arguing he relied on his lawyer's advice. He deflected blame, portraying himself as a victim of circumstance. The courtroom became a battleground of words and interpretations. Trump's supporters rallied outside the courthouse. They waved signs and chanted slogans, expressing their unwavering belief in his innocence. His detractors held counter-protests, demanding accountability. The media frenzy reached a fever pitch. Cable news channels provided wall-to-wall coverage. Social media exploded with commentary and debate. The nation was transfixed, watching the drama unfold in real time. The prosecution built a methodical case. They presented financial records, emails, and witness testimony. Their goal was to prove that Trump had directed the hush money payment to protect his campaign. They argued that this constituted an illegal campaign contribution. The prosecution painted a picture of a candidate willing to do whatever it took to win. They portrayed Trump as a man who believed he was above the law. The prosecution's star witness was Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer. Cohen, who had already pleaded guilty to related charges, provided damning testimony. He claimed Trump had personally instructed him to make the hush money payment. He described Trump's fixation on burying negative stories. Cohen's testimony was a turning point in the trial. It provided first-hand evidence of Trump's involvement in the scheme. The prosecution's case was not without its challenges. Defense lawyers attacked Cohen's credibility, highlighting his past lies and legal troubles. They argued that Cohen was motivated by revenge and a desire to reduce his own sentence. The defense also questioned the legality of the prosecution's case, arguing that the hush money payment was a private matter, not a campaign finance violation. Trump's defense team mounted a vigorous defense. They attacked the prosecution's case on multiple fronts. They argued that there was no direct evidence linking Trump to the hush money payment. They claimed that Cohen was a liar seeking to profit from his association with Trump. They portrayed Trump as a victim of a political vendetta. The defense emphasized Trump's lack of knowledge of campaign finance laws. They argued that he relied on his lawyers for guidance. They presented Trump as a political outsider who was unfamiliar with the intricacies of campaign finance regulations. The defense's goal was to create reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors. They needed to convince at least one juror that the prosecution had not proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense also sought to discredit Michael Cohen. They pointed to his previous lies and legal troubles. They presented him as a disgruntled former employee seeking revenge. The defense painted a picture of Cohen as a man who was willing to say anything to save himself. They argued that his testimony was unreliable and self-serving. As the trial concluded, the nation held its breath. The jury began its deliberations. The world watched and waited for the verdict. The implications of a guilty verdict were enormous. It would be a historic moment, the first time a former U.S. president had been convicted of a crime. The political landscape would be forever altered. The trial had become a cultural touchstone. It dominated news cycles and sparked endless debate. It highlighted America's deep political divisions. Trump's supporters remained steadfast in their belief in his innocence. His detractors saw the trial as a long overdue reckoning. The verdict, whatever it may be, would have profound consequences for the country. The silence trial was more than just a legal proceeding. It was a referendum on Trump's legacy. It raised fundamental questions about accountability, justice, and the rule of law. The verdict, when it finally came, would reverberate far beyond the walls of the Manhattan courtroom.